Big Poppy in the house. Alright, this is video number 4. We're making a primer alarm, round counter, and a primer feed system to install onto a Loadmaster. And appreciate all the comments that I'm getting. And again, you know, I'm doing this because this is what I like to do. And I've made some other equipment as well. On this one, I did send a letter to, or a couple of emails to different manufacturers, see if they'd be interested in something like this. Well, I don't have the money. A lot of people said I need to patent some of this stuff. I tried going that way on another piece of equipment. Paid a lot of money out to find that I couldn't get it because somebody else had something that was a little bit different. You know, a lot of times when you say in a patent any sensor used to determine if a primer is missing or there, or if powder's there or it's not, some of that it's a broad statement across the board, and then you tie it to reloading. I do have the next project of another function that's going to go in and be able to use in the same box. And you know, that I'm holding off on showing right now because I do have another competitor to Lee that may be interested in that. So that's one I'm going to see if they want to work out something going forward. Like I said, I've tried to keep Lee in it because I'm a big Lee's fan. Most of my equipment's all Lee. But basically right now, guys, I'm going through and showing you how to build it from start to finish. All you got to do is take it, put it together. If you got a lot of money, turn it in, get a patent on it, and everything's good. I do want to compliment John Lee on helping me on another project that I had, and he made some recommendations when I was going through the patent process that really helped me quite a bit to make it even a safer unit. So I appreciate that as well. But then again, like I said, all you got to do is watch, build this thing, and you got money, go for it. Go ahead and patent it, do whatever you want with it. Like I said, I do this because I enjoy it. It's my hobby. All my money's tied up into my reloading room. I sure in the heck don't have, you know, the $20,000 to $30,000 to go through a complete patent pending process, because there's 3 different platforms that you pay. But just to get started, it's almost $700. And then you get into where it's like more than $1,000, and then you get up to $6,000. So again, like I said, this is number 4, and we're going to start doing a lot of the wiring. And as I've told you before, I'm not liable in case you would happen to wire something incorrectly or you don't do something right. So you have 100% accountability for what your project ends up to be, working or non-working. And again, I've been trying to go real slow so you guys can follow along. And I think when we get completed and you guys put that up on your lead Loadmasters, you're really going to like the extra activities that it gives you. If nothing else, it's fun, and it also helps on your tack time, you know, being able to reload quicker, you know, not have to huddle over, you know, the top of your powder things for the other thing that I came up with. And then, you know, like the piece of equipment I made for NATO for non-crimping NATO rounds. I mean, you can go through 1,000 pieces of brass very, very quickly with the other item that I made. And there's also a video out there. Alright, so let's get started. Let me zero this in on here so you guys can see a close-up of what I'm doing. And what I'll do is try to make sure that I show the different things after we complete each one of these. I'll show you what we're doing, and like I said, we're going to go slow so nobody gets missed out on doing some things here. Alright, so the very first thing I want you to do is take your box. You know, last thing we did the wiring internally. We've got a couple more wires to put on this bottom part of the unit. What I'd like for you to do is to take the pigtail that's got all your wires going to, that's going to go up to your primer alarm. I want you to take that and just tape them on the back of it for right now. So it'll look just like that. Get those up and out of your way. Okay. Next thing what I want you to do is take a piece of wire right here. And you're going to put a number 8 spade bit terminal on it. And what I want you to do is I want you to take on the negative buzz bar at the bottom of the unit right here. I want you to go to the third screw over, and I want you to take this, the black wire with the spade 8, and I want you to put that on there. And tighten that down. Okay, and there's where it's on, number 3 across. I want you to take this wire, and I want you to take and back this screw out here. And on your channel 1 circuit board, I want you to go to the metal screw. So let me put this in, loosen it up, and push your wire in there. And once you get it in there, tighten that up. Get that good and tight. Alright, so that's what that should look like. The number 3 going all the way around here and up and going into the second terminal right here of your channel. Okay. Alright, the next thing what I want you to do is take your power pigtail, and if you buy it online you're going to have to add some wire to it because it's not going to be long enough. So go ahead and take this and slip it through. Now if you decided like what I did is to go through the back so I can go right into the bench, I'm going to feed that through the back. Now if you have it where you put your grommets or your holes on the side, then go ahead, at this time go ahead and put that through there. Alright, then if you're taking a wire, just make sure that you got 2 wires coming off your pigtail. One to be black, one to be red. Okay, so that's stuck to the black. Okay, now it's time. Remember in the last video I told you to go ahead and start putting your wires on the backs. So the very first one that we're going to do here is we are going to take, we're going to be working on where the fuse is at right now. Okay. And again, if you got it all taped up on your front, that'll help you from scratching it all up. And let's see. Okay, your ground. Let's do the ground first, I think. What I want to do. The positive. And the positive. Let's see here. Positive. It's the back of the switch. What I want to do, coming off that black goes to ground. Alright, so coming off that power pigtail, I want you to take the black wire and I want you to put a spade bit on it. And I'm double checking myself as I go. Just making sure. Alright. And as I get this wired, I will show you what I've done. So you're going to take the end of that black, and once again, and you know what, I think I'm going to just tuck it over on this side here. Make it easier. Is you're going to, once again, you're going to put a number 8 spade bit on it, on your ground. So you're going to cut that. Somebody asked me if I have a schematics for all the wiring and stuff. I do not, and I don't plan on putting that out there to hand it to somebody else that may go and try to patent this. Okay, now we're going to be getting these two connected, so let me go ahead and put this in, and then the wires after this we start putting the two units together, so it's going to be a little bit harder for me to pick the unit up, but I'll do the best I can. So this black that's coming off your pigtail for your power is going to go to the negative, and you're going to put it on the first terminal in the box. And then go ahead and tighten that up. Okay. So we've come through the back or the side with your terminal, and on your power here, you're going to take your negative and you're going to put it on the first post on the bottom. Okay? Now your red that's coming out of your pigtail of your power is going to go to your switch. And that typically will be on your on, which would be your top side of your switch. Yeah, it gets a little bit more funner going through this part of it. Alright. So what we want to do is we want to hook these together. And that's why I try to make the wires a little bit longer, so when you're doing this, you can still work on it and then when you're finished you can just fold it over on the top and make it work. So let me trim this here. And let me trim this one here. And go ahead and strip away the wire. So you'll end up stripping both of them. Now, a couple things, you could actually solder it if you like. You can use these little terminals here, fittings. Half the time the things fall out on me, but trying to stick it in here and then trying to get it crimped. So there are several different ways that you can do this. And you can see that the one's already started falling out on me. Dang, that freaking work. So you know what? I ain't gonna mess with that. So what we'll do is we're gonna slide a piece of shrink tube on this so we can put it on when we're done. We're going to go ahead and solder this. And on both of these you're going to want to put some solder on it. Try cleaning up the bench a little bit. A lot warmer outside now instead of 20 below. I think we're probably around maybe 25. A little chilly with the wind blowing. So go ahead and put some solder on it, on both those. Alright. Now what we want to do is we want to solder these two together. And hopefully we can get by not having to solder the rest of them so it takes a long time. And you know what? I think I can make this work better here. And there's a bunch of you. It's a lot better soldering and shit than me, so. So once you get that soldered together, you see where I slipped on a shrink tube, and you're going to go over that, what you soldered. Got a blower right here. Take that tubing and put her in that. Alright, so you can see that we got the power coming in. We just hooked the black line or the reds together on the positive. Alright, now we've got the negative on the power coming in, went to the bottom ground bar first screw. We got the wire going from the power coming in to the top of the switch, and out of the switch we need to come out of here and go into back. Alright. So now what you want to do is take and you know what, just to keep these out of my way for right now, I'm going to take these, because we're not ready for these right now, and we're just going to take these out of the way so I can still show you guys what I'm doing. Alright, so now what you're going to do is the ground coming off your switch, I mean the bottom of it, is you're going to want to, and it goes to, okay, so on the where your fuse fitting comes through your block and the bottom of your on and off switch, is you need to hook those two together. So we'll cut this off here, and we'll still leave plenty of room so we don't get real tight on. Take that a little bit more. I know why I leave these things real long. So making sure I can always what I want to do is I've already put a piece of shrink tape. I'm going to put a little bit bigger one on there too and play it safe with the shrink tube here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with these. Is we're going to take and we're going to solder them together. And again, you could use those ones where you put the two wires together and clamp it. But like I said, most of the time I don't have too much luck with it. I'll be crimping down on it and one end will slide out all the time on me. And I got a vent thing that I put on my table here, so I'm not breathing all this lead fumes. But I didn't want to have to do very much soldering. And I may have to make a little bit longer red. And you just seen me, I broke the little wire on the end of that one. But hey, this is real time. Wiring takes a little bit longer. What I'm going to do is put that might have to take a few extra videos. Things ain't going too fast right now in regards to doing this wiring. We need a loop. Let's see. Stick this through here. So what we're doing right now is fixing the one we broke, going into the thing, make sure it fits. I think before I screwed it on there, that's where we got the one. Remember I told you to leave your wires pretty long? Should have left them longer. So bear with me for a minute. Then you go ahead and slide your tubing over it. And once again, heat that up. Let's go ahead and put this screw back in, the terminal that goes to the bottom of your switch. Here's the good thing. You got time to go get a soda, go get you a sandwich, some snacks, while we make up some time when I'm going through all this. I'll tell you what, remember me telling you to make sure the damn wires are long enough? Now the other one came off. If you want to see what I'm keep breaking off, these little fittings like this. So go ahead and put a new one on that. I ain't cutting these things this short. I hate a whole bunch of sloppy wires in there when you get done, but if we're going to keep breaking them. Alright, so we got the power red going to your connector on your switch on and off. You got your ground going to number 1 on your buzz bar position on your negative side. You got coming off the switch here, it goes over to the back of your fuse housing. Okay? Alright, and then off the back of your, that's actually going to be on the side of your fuse, that goes to your wire that is on your positive for the entire buzz bar on the positive side. So these two here go together. And because I've got a thing going on here, with some of these coming apart, I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to go ahead and just do it to be done with it and put solder on it. To put them together. And once again, I'll show you this once I complete the task. And then also, before you get ready to solder that, don't forget to put your shrink tape on, tubing. And again, I'll show you once I get this . And then take that heat shrink, heat it up on that one. Alright, so that one went from the bottom of your switch. Okay, we went over to the back of the fuse holder. We came off the side of the fuse holder into the positive wire for the positive buzz bar here. The main wire. Those two go together. Alright. Okay, now what I want to do now is we need a black . Alright, now we're going to the switch that works your counter, and we're going to the center with the spade bit that's on it. And I need to check one thing. Alright, so we want to go from the middle of this switch that goes right, it's right next to your on and off switch. What we want to do is we also want to put a number 8 connector on it. So go ahead and strip that. And let's see, cut that back just a little bit. Those ends don't need to be very long. Go ahead and put that. And go ahead and crimp that. Let's see. Need to squeeze that one a little harder. Alright, so the middle wire of the 3 prongs on the switch, you're going to go to the positive buzz bar, and I want you to go to the 3rd one over on your positive side. And it's going into the 3rd position. Alright, so what we just did is we took the middle on your switch right next to on and off, the middle terminal, put a spade bit on it. We ran the wire to the positive side of the buzz bar, and it went in number 3 terminal. Okay. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's go to the middle where the lights are. Alright, so this first red one on the light comes into the box and it goes on the first terminal. So your red on your light goes into your first terminal. And go ahead and tighten that up. Alright, because I want to make sure it's going, I'm going plenty slow right now. Laugh all you want, but I want to make sure that I do this so you guys see what I'm actually doing too. So, you know, we took the red light, or the light, we took the red, and we went to the first terminal on the positive buzz bar. Okay. Now you take the black, and the black goes into your 4th. Black goes into your 4th terminal on the negative buzz bar. And wait a minute, let's see. Let me make sure, because I like to make them all the same when I'm doing them. Let's see. You can put that in the number number 3. And that goes on the ground, on the negative buzz bar. And along that side, it's always fun trying to get those in because you don't have a lot of extra space. Now some of you may want to consider, you can get a bigger box if you choose. And then go ahead and tighten that up. So now, on your light, no big deal. You got one that's going to your positive, and you got one side going to your negative. Okay, pretty well straightforward on that. Alright, now you've got another coming off the switch that the negative off the side. It's red. Okay, now we need another spade bit on a wire, and this one is already pulling out, so I'll put a new one on that. Let's see here, where do I have those? So go ahead and take your wire and strip that back. Alright, so you're going to want to solder these. So you're going to take, now, you're going to take the red wire on the back of your counter, and we'll go ahead and put a shrink tube on it so I don't come back and forget it later. So you're taking the red on the back of your counter, and then you're going to take the other red that I showed you how to make it, and you're going to strip away the wire on the other end. And go ahead and take both of those and tin the ends of the wire. And like I said, I'm running about 350 on my soldering gun here, or soldering. Okay, go ahead and tin those. And hopefully this is still recording. But if you just take your time, anybody can build this. It just takes time. The wires, like you see, it's taking the longest. A lot of the other stuff went pretty fast. Okay, so now we're ready to solder these wires together. like I've told you before, I'm sure a bunch of you in there can solder a hell of a lot faster than me. But it is what it is. And as long as I can get it done, I'm good with that. Let's make sure I got a good solder there. Okay, not bad. And then go ahead and put your a lot of times it's hard to get the, if you don't grab one big enough on your heats. Okay, I'll go ahead and melt that. I'm going to have to put a this unit, you have to slide it in there so it restarts. And because I didn't make my heat put a bigger size of the heat shrink on it, I am going to put me just a piece of black tape on around the part that the wire is actually bigger than the one coming off the counter. So I'm going to just put a little piece of tape on that. Okay, so this one here that we've been working on, and this goes to the double, and I'm going to just double check that. And what I'm doing when I'm going back here is I've got so many, I think I've got 9 of them made here, and I'm just going through and making sure that I've got them correct. I'm getting old, so I can't remember everything. So you're going to take this, there's 3 terminals on the back of that for your counter, for your switch, and you're going to go to the minus size to put your terminal here that we just made. So it's going to go on the bottom of that switch. Man. Alright, so here it is. Red coming off your counter. Red coming off your counter going into your switch right next to your on and off switch. That's your hook up there. You're going to have one spade that doesn't get anything put on it. Okay? Alright, so we're making some headway. Alright, now I want you to go to the back of your counter, and if you order the exact one I told you, and since I've been asked that before, let's just make sure that you got the right one. Okay, it comes from China, and the ID number is 14009486. The range is 0 to 9999. It's 4 digits. It's a power signal, a DC 12V. You can get a red or a blue. They start around 15 bucks all the way up to 20 bucks. The model is GDD7949ZNT-P12V digital panel meter. and it does have instructions in it, but for this application there's a couple things that get changed as far as what they're telling you how to wire it. Okay, now you still should have on that, and you're going to know if you ordered the right counter, and remember you want the counter that you can actually reset it. Okay, so we've already accounted for the red, and then on the back of it you've got a black, you got a blue, and you got a green. I want you to take that green and cut it off. You do not need the green. Cut it totally off. Don't need it. Alright, now we're getting into hooking up your sensor. Alright, now again, depending if you're going to go ahead and stick it through the hole through the side, or if you're going to stick it through the hole on the back, which my application is going to be to the back, and you have 3 wires on that. You got a blue, a black, and a brown. Okay, so you're going to stick that into the back of the unit. And pull it out to the front. And for right now, just pull excess out. It's not going to hurt anything at all. And once again, I'm going to double check. The blue. Alright, so let's do this next one. Okay, now this black that comes off your counter is going to go to your ground buzz bar. So go ahead and strip some wire away for that. And I am definitely going to have to add on to this because I'm not going to keep pulling the wires when they keep breaking. So let me grab a piece of black. I got all my wire over here, so we'll pull off a okay, we'll go ahead and put these two together. Go ahead and put some solder on both of those. Okay, we're going to be putting them together too, so and luckily we can slide it still through on the other side because we haven't put a fitting on it yet, so that's good. Let me check that. Make sure we got a good connection here. Okay, solder looks good. We'll go ahead and put a piece of heat that shrink tubing on it. Cover that up. It doesn't need to be this long, but I ain't taking chances. Keep breaking the wires. So go ahead and take that in, and you're going to also use one of those number 8 spade connectors. Just like this, once again. And remember, you're going to put this on the negative side. And again, like I said, black off the back of your counter, goes into your negative. And since I've been staying with the sequence as far as where I'm putting the wires, let's keep it all consistent. So we're going to go to number 4. So we're going to go to these are always fun. Alright, so remember this one's going to your ground. Okay, so now off your counter we have the blue. Let's see here, I want to, before I hook them last 2 wires, I want to double check something, because when I come back to make my next revision to this, I want to see if I need to put another wire, pigtail another wire on the side of it to do the other function that I want it to do. So for right now, I think we'll call it a day. It's been long enough. You see me fumbling around on these wires and that. I'll make sure that I tell you exactly where all these wires go, what they get hooked to. We've got basically maybe half a dozen to do still, and then we can go from there. So as always, if you like my channel, please subscribe, support the sport, and good shooting, my friends. Thank you.